I can't do what you're doing, right? And or you've got the personality, or you're great at speaking, or you're great at sales, or all of these different things. You're very confident. And I said, let me Google my name, right? I just wanted to Google my name, and then I came across a very old interview, from when I was running my traditional business. And actually, there's a couple of interviews, but I only went through one of those, and it was updated on. It was posted on YouTube, and I posted in my chats this morning because a lot of you here on the line, you're coming in the season of me almost doing this for 4 years today, and 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 4 years. Well, I knew how to sell that, but I was selling people and products. So you come in, I'll sell you on this, and that's it, right? But it was completely different than what we do here. And I'm going somewhere with the story. Thanks, David. So, but one thing I really hated was speaking to strangers, speaking to a lot of people like you guys here on the line. I hated that. You would have never, like, I used to sponsor a lot of events, in the bodybuilding world. We were one of the major sponsors. And every single time they wanted me to speak, guess what I did? And that is for 8 years. Right? So imagine I was building this business for 8 years. So I was traveling a lot. I was at a lot of events. I was doing a lot of events. And every single time, they had they wanted to the sponsors, the main sponsors, not all of them, but the main sponsors to say a few words. Do you think I was up there on stage, or do you think I was hiding all the way on the other side of the building? What do you guys think? So said hiding. All right. Anybody else? Well, you guys know me. I need everybody else here on the line that is somewhat new or whatever, and you're seeing now, you guys, you see, Crystal, I appreciate you guys, because some of y'all are saying you are hiding because you've heard me say this before, right? You've heard me say this before, and I was speaking to a fantastic woman yesterday that just got started with Danny's business. And she's like, I'm not a salesperson. And, all of those, lies that we tell ourselves. And she was trying to sell me on why she couldn't join, but she wanted to make difference. She wanted to make difference. She wanted to make more money. She wanted to, create more time, freedom for herself and her family. She didn't want to lower her standard. She wanted to upgrade her her standard. And she's like, well, you're great and you're very confident, and you know how to talk to people. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, I wish you would have met me 4 years ago, just 4 years ago, in the beginning of this journey. In the beginning of this journey. Okay. I said, I wish you would have met me in the beginning of this journey. And I'm glad, because today I shared that with my team, because there's a lot of new people on my team and they haven't watched my journey from day one, right? There's few people. I mean, Luana is here, one of them that started with me from the very beginning. Alte started, so they know, right? Obviously, outside of Darren and the team prior to me, so they know. And I was like, you see, this is what happens when you go and do the exercise over and 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 over again. And you try one more time, and you try one more time. And yes, you're going to sound stupid in the beginning. You're going to sound funny, right? And it was just really, really, really good to see, because we can't ask for new things without wanting to do new activities. So I want to talk to you guys today about a topic on how to launch your business. And I'm a firm believer that if you want to succeed, there is so much money on the table. And all you got to do is just focus for the next 6 months. You know, don't even think about the 6 months. Focus for the next 25 days out of this month. You can literally transform the entire course of your life if you work your plan, map out your plan. One, the first thing you got to do is make a decision. I was listening to you know, the code that me and Mr. Gibson did a while ago. You guys can go and watch it on my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel. But, you know, and I was listening to it as I was asking him questions, and I asked him a really good question. I said, Desi, not Desi. I said, Mr. Gibson, I said, what is the number one thing that one person should do when they get started, or when they want to go into the entrepreneurial, you know, route, or when they want to do something different? He said they got to make a decision. Right. I really thought he was going to say, okay, well, they got to change their environment. But the one thing you got to do is you got to start with a decision. Decision is not you joining us. Decision is not you partnering up with us. You made a decision to get started. That is not a decision that you're going to succeed. Is this making sense, you guys? Okay. That is not a decision. And you're probably going to have to do a decision making multiple times, because everybody on this line can get stagnant. This team has seasons. Every single one has seasons in business. In 2020, I was just telling Pepe, we did a Bulgarian Instagram call. If you guys know anybody in Bulgaria, go ahead. This is how you utilize the tools to work for you that we create for you, right? All you got to do is just go and share with your Bulgarian prospects. It's in Bulgarian. I only wish, you know, there was English subtitles, because it was a good call. Really good call. So it starts with a decision. What are you going to do this month? I was going to say this year, but this month. Because all you can do is focus on today and now, because all you're in control of is the now, right? Your now will create tomorrow, and then the now will create the next month, and then the now will create the following month. It's not, oh, next year when I have this. You will never have anything, because I wouldn't have the assets, the finances, the relationships today if I didn't make a decision at the very beginning to become coachable and to leave my ego outside of this business. Okay. And I want to piggyback a little bit, because, you know, you're going to hear a lot of successful stories. You're going to hear, you know, different people's success. Some come in and take off and they get straight to the top. It takes some time for other people. But all you got to do is just make sure you stay focused on yourself. You can use other people's stories to inspire you. Okay. But not when it comes to comparison. Use them to inspire you. Use them to move you forward. But when you do sit down with your mentor and you say, hey, I would like to launch, you're not going to know what launching is. I didn't know what launching was. I didn't know what I was supposed to do here. I didn't know what I was going to earn. I didn't know anything. But I made a decision that I'm going to follow my mentor's plan, because I had goals to, but to grow into. Is this making sense, you guys? So I want you to make a plan, because I was listening the other day to Mr. Bugs, and maybe Thad, you can drop the when he spoke at the Eric Worre's event, that YouTube video on how to properly launch your business and how he did what he did. Okay. And how he did what he did, because you can literally get from zero to a hero if you make a decision and you utilize the system, you utilize your leader. Because in this business here, okay, in this business here, within our community, within the GPS team, I can't tell about other teams. I'm only speaking for our team, okay? Because this is what I was telling Danny's new business partner yesterday. Well, she was asking me questions. Well, what's possible? What do I need to do? And can I be honest with you guys? I don't like these questions. Do you know why? Because if I listen to somebody else, what they've done, that will limit my thinking, and it will automatically put me in a state of mind, oh, maybe I can't do more than them. And you will set your thermometer at their temperature. So this is why when I came in, I didn't ask Darren, well, what's possible and, you know, who's done whatever. Like, I just went straight to work. I had my goal in mind. And all I said is, hey, what do I need to do in order for me to get from point A to point Z? Are y'all getting this? Is it a yes or yes? Why? Because we all move in different speeds. And if my goal is to move fast and get to 100,000 or 200,000 or whatever the goal, whatever your goal is, 10,000, 5,000, whatever. Well, what's the average person? I'm not average. God created me. I'm unique. You're unique. There's no average people here. The only thing you will lose being in this team is being average. That's it. That's the one and the only thing you will lose joining our team is being average. Everything else from that point forward, as long as you stay coachable, learnable, teachable, will be a gain. So I was already programming her for success. So I want today's call to be like a fresh start for you guys. It is a fresh start for me this month. And I've been talking to a lot of new people. A lot of new people. And I have a new goal. I wouldn't say a new goal, but I'm excited because I am surrounded by a lot of new energy. And maybe you got to hit the restart button as well. Maybe it's time for you to hit the restart button as well. Because, yeah, what we've done is skewed, but I was just thinking right before this call, I still haven't found my golden ball. I don't know if it's already on my team or if it's not, but, you know, I'll never forget one of the very first events that we had with Mr. Bugs. It was a company event. He said, you just got to go through the numbers for you to find your golden ball. I haven't found my Holton Bugs yet. I am one conversation away, one more person away from finding my next rock star. But if I don't continue on doing the fundamentals, the same activities every single day, folks, the best thing that I can give you for this business right here, you got to get really good at the boring stuff. It's like going to the gym. How many of you have gone to the gym? How many of you have done weightlifting? How many of you, and you've done it consistently? We're not talking about 2.5 pounds. We're talking about, in a way, bodybuilding, right? You not bodybuilding officially, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? You've gone to the gym, you've hired a personal trainer. And you see all of these Instagram influencers showing you all of these crazy exercises that nobody has ever, like they're just making them up. And now you see like, you know, top coaches in the fitness world that are saying there's no need of crazy exercises. The fundamentals are fundamentals and they work just perfectly fine. Then he's like, you're calling me out right now. And you see, you know, like you guys have seen it, right? It's the same thing with what we do here. It's very, very simple. Yet it's gonna get boring, but you gotta still be excited. And when you start studying top leaders in this industry, every single one of them says you got to get really good at the boring stuff. Right? Really good at the boring stuff. Every single time you present, do you sound like it's your first time presenting and you're excited as hell? It's like it's your first day launching your business. Or do you sound like, man, I'm on this last rep and I can barely breathe? How many of you know what I'm talking about? Right? When you go to the gym and your coach is telling you, hey, you got to put in 12 reps. And then by the time you're on your 12 rep, you're barely like lifting that weight. You're barely doing it, right? And then your coach like, 2 more. And then 2 more. But you got to stay fresh to the very end. Why? Because you never know who is on the line. It may be that one golden ball. All I'm saying this is because some of you think that it takes thousands of people for you to go crazy and that you have to go out there and, you know, recruit 200,000 people yourself. No. It will take only few people for you to get to the very, very, very top and for you to help the next person get to the very top. Only few people. Only few. 3, 4, 5, depending on how big your goal is. Because I'm speaking a little bit more general because everybody's goal is different. I don't want to scare people away. But how do you launch? I like what Mr. Buggs says. Amateurs join the business. Professionals launch their business. Oh, but Desi, I need to know it all. If you're in my group, I want you to go inside the chats and I want you to look at the interview I shared earlier today. For everybody here on the line, and especially the brand new people that are saying, but Desi, I can't do what you're doing. I thought so too. But you know what I had? I had a mentor that saw something in me I didn't see myself. I had a person that was a complete stranger that saw more in me than my family, friends, my closest people, people that I was associating myself with. He saw more in me than all of the people that I knew prior. So folks, you're going to find somebody here within this community that will see more in you than you see in yourself. Why don't you anchor on that versus your mom's opinion, versus your husband's opinion, versus your friend's opinion that have never, ever, ever built anything sustainable. I was talking to Luana earlier today. And I was telling her, you know, it's funny how people are just cruising through life and they're just choosing to continue the wrong legacy right? Because you guys know I come from a, like Mr. Gibson says, the broke, busted, and disgusted family. But I was thinking, my grandparents, my grandparents, my grandparents, they all were broke, busted, and disgusted. And all these families had a similar pattern: abusive, mental, physical. And I made a decision that I'm going to break the chain. There's one person that needs to make a decision to break the chain and create a new pattern. Maybe that's cheating. And in the beginning, it's not going to make sense. It's not. It didn't make sense. Like, it didn't make sense to me at all how I went, I mean, Diamond. I think until Diamond, I did not get it. I started getting this business after I achieved $200,000 in business in 30 days. That was 8 months working with Mr. Gibson. I was working with Mr. Gibson for 8 months, and he kept on saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. And you know what I didn't tell him? Well, I did. I'll never forget. There was one time, some of you know the place. We were in 1933, and I said, there, I think you gotta, change the conversation a little bit, because you've been just repetitive and you've been speaking the same thing. And I'm not gonna tell you guys, he cursed me out. And he said, you're still not getting it, are you? I think it was March or April. We were sitting at 1933 of 2021. I still remember. It was me, him, I believe Emilio at the bar. I still remember. I remember it like it was yesterday. And he said, you're still not getting it. This is why I'm going to continue on repeating the same thing. If you did get it, your results will be different. I zipped it from that point forward. I was scared that he may, smack me through the head. I'm just kidding. He's never done it. But he was right. He was right. A lot of us are saying, hey, I've heard this before. You've heard it. Your results are still remaining the same. That means that you don't understand it. You don't understand how to apply it. And the only way for you to start understanding the information is by application. If you want to become really successful, if you want to get straight to the top, guess what? You got to be willing to do. You're going to have to be willing to fail over and over and over and over again. When you're launching, when you're talking to people, you're going to have to be willing to sound stupid. You're going to have to be willing to sound like you're crazy. Like your entire environment, all of your friends and family need to see a completely different version of you. You got to sound crazy. You do. Nobody wants to follow people that are stagnant. I want you guys to think about this. Have y'all ever followed somebody that is slow? Will you ever follow somebody that's slow? If you guys want to launch, who would follow you if you're just like, hey, I'm just gonna launch one time this month, and I'll see how it goes. You're automatically setting yourself up for failure. Plan. Mr. Bugs was saying on the Red Jacket training, he was doing 4 calls every single day for 11 days straight. He said, by the time I was finished, he said, I lost 18 pounds And people were thinking it was because of the product, and that was my testimonial that I was using. He said, I wasn't eating. I didn't have time to eat. I didn't have time to think that I'm hungry. Because he was obsessed with his goal. Are you obsessed with your goal yet? And if you're not, you probably have to set a higher goal. Desi, I'm not like you. You're probably right. You probably are a better speaker, smarter than I am. So, you know, what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't take much for you to become successful in this business. It takes a burning desire for success, though, where you don't really care. You know, some of you are going to say, oh my God, but my husband doesn't like what I'm doing. And my mom and dad and everybody thinks I'm a scammer. Great. Mine did too. They did too. Oh, by the way, this is being recorded. They still think I am. You guys heard this right? 4 years in. I've paid my mom's apartment out, out of this business. Y'all can go ask her. Last year, I paid it off. Paid it off with this business. She's no longer working in Italy. She lives in Bulgaria. Now she's back for 1.5 years in Bulgaria because this business doesn't work. It does work for me. I know it works for a lot of you too. And all the people that are calling me scammer, guess what I've done? I've paid bills out of this business. This is my main thing that I've been doing for the last 4 years. Some of you are going to say, oh, but you have a traditional business. Oh, by the way, this business was paying my traditional business's bills as well. Because I went all in. You can't have a plan A, plan B, plan C. You got to have one plan. Oh, if this doesn't work, I got to have a plan B. If you study successful people, 7 and above, beyond 8, 9, 10-figure earners, all of them are going to tell you one thing. And you guys you must start studying successful people. Pay attention to what they're saying. Don't just get motivated. I don't get paid to do these calls. Dad asked me this morning, hey, can you do the 3 p.m. call? I said, my mind said no, but my goal said yes. Are y'all getting this? My mind said no. I had a phenomenal day. Yesterday, I know I'm going all over the place, but I'm going to land the airplane like Darren says, right? Yesterday, can I just share with you guys? Is that cool with you? Is this cool? How many of you know my story? 4 years ago, is the 5th. 4 years ago, 5 weeks prior to today, I heard the diagnosis, your son has a brain tumor. Four years later, God knew. God had a greater plan. Yesterday, it was the first time in 14 years being in this country. I'm just being very transparent. In 14 years being in this country where I made a decision, hey, I'm going to be away from this time. And mind you, I did a launch call for Danny at 6 a.m. in the morning. But from 8 a.m., I signed up for my son's field trip, all right? From 8 until 4:30, whoever wanted to do calls with me, I said, figure it out. Do you know why? Because I work hard to get to where I am today. And not only that, I've done a lot of sacrifices. So this is exactly what you guys can have. You can have a business that works for you. 4 years ago, that would have never been an option for me to sign up and go spend the day with my son. That was not an option. My business still paid me without me being present. This is the freedom you can have. But Dusty, why are you still doing it? Why? Because I haven't helped enough people have the lifestyle that I have. Because some of you are, you're still negative and you're coming back to us and you're like, well, if you didn't have to do it, why are you doing it? Because you're still not living the lifestyle that God created you to live. So I need to brainwash you a little bit more. Did I know I was going to be here? No, but there and did. Now, let me tell you this. You know how many times my paradigm said, you got to quit. This is not for you. Quit. It ain't for you. Quit. It ain't for you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you living this business? Why are you living, a working business? What are you doing? Why are you leaving it behind? All of this chatter that paradigm does. You know what I kept on doing? Punching it back. Pew, 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 pew. Like this. So I told myself I might as well get rich quick. Because you can. Because you've never heard anybody get rich slow. And some of you are saying, hey, Desi, I like what Holton said on that red jacket training. I highly suggest you guys to study it. And maybe this is the only thing you should have in your years outside of our calls, outside of the one-on-one calls or three-way calls or your launch calls that you have. This is the only thing you should be studying until you build that burning desire, until this becomes, like your blood, right? You got to listen to it over and over and over and over and over again. Until you build that burning desire, until it gets underneath your skin to where you're like, you're sitting in a place and you can't even find your space. You can't even go to sleep because you're too excited, and you're just going crazy. And when you get into that, when you tap into that energy, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not yelling. I'm not yelling. I'm just very passionate about what we do here. Okay. I want you guys to get this. I'm very passionate about what we do. Very. I gotta work on my tonality, right? I gotta be calm and collective. And you know what? I made up my mind that God created me to be like this. So, I'm gonna be loud and that, I'm not this calm and collective person. I can be, I've worked on this in the last 3.5 years here in this community. I know when to, tone it down. But yes, that is me. So why I'm sharing this with you, I love what Mr. Bug said. Plenty of you here online. Oh, Desi, you became an overnight success. Go watch that video. I got more. I can send you more videos. Go watch it. What you guys haven't seen is, 11 years ago, and consistently every single day what I was doing. And then it took this one person that can come into your life. And if you do exactly, when I say exactly, if you came into our team, if you're part of our team, if you got started with our team this week, last week, 2 weeks ago, 3, 4, 5, 10, even last year, make a decision today that you're going to be a brand new person. And you're going to do exactly what your mentor is telling you to do. You want to launch? You want to become a diamond? You can do it this month. Look, folks, it takes 30 days for you to go diamond. It doesn't take 30 days. Mr. Gibson did it in 2 weeks. It takes a decision to go diamond. But you don't stop until you hit it. My goal was to go diamond the first month when we launched. Guess what I didn't do? I didn't stop until I hit diamond. We launched May. I hit diamond August. I kept on launching every single month. Every single month, I kept on bringing new people. 20, 30 people. Yes, Desi, I was bringing 20. Remember, it ain't going to be one person that's going to build your entire business. Somebody was asking me, how much is diamond? I said, you've been a part of our business for quite some time. I need you to go figure it out yourself. And then when you do, come back and let me know. Because he was asking me, what does it take for me to be coached by Holton? Gold diamond? What's diamond? Oh, no, he didn't ask me. I said, do you know what diamond is? He said, consider it as done. I said, do you know what diamond is? Well, no, but I have an idea. Oh, in order for you to know your numbers, you got to grow your numbers. If you want to earn $1,000 this month, you got to ask your mentor what you need to do. If you want to earn $5,000 this month, you got to ask your mentor what you need to do. When we came in there and said, what is your goal? How much money do you want to earn? I said, this is my goal. By the way, that wasn't even the conversation. Can I be honest with you? This is what happened. He said, Mr. Bucks told us, we need to create a first 30-day success story. We need to create a 60-day success story. And we need to create a 90-day success story. So for me, in the beginning, wasn't about cash flow. Now, of course, I wanted to get paid. Don't get me wrong. It was the success that I was able to go and share over and over and over again to bring new people the next month. I had now success, even though I went through names, I went through numbers that told me no. Next month, guess what I did? I called them again. Hey, just so you know, this is what I did in my first 30 days. I'm about to do this month. You don't want to miss out on it. I got to think about it. Okay. Guess what I kept on doing? The third month, guess what I did? Hey, just so you know, this is what I did. But you got to make sure that you put your feet where your mouth is. You can't just be speaking it. You still got to go and get it done. How do you think I started believing that I can actually do this? Do you think because I had success in this business? Or do you think because I started speaking the lies, the right lies to myself? I started speaking like her since day one. The moment I heard Darren saying, oh, when he called me and, before I got started, he said, our goal is to have 106 and 7-figure, income earners. That was when we're part of a different company. And I said, no, he said 107-figure earners. And I said, you don't have any? I said, I'm the first. And this is all I had in my mind. I didn't care about what Crystal said. I didn't care about what Luana said. I didn't care about what Alejandro said. I just kept on telling every single next person, my goal is, you can ask Luana. Luana is on the line here. I was on a call with Luana for 3.5 hours. I didn't let this woman go until she was in the system. Are y'all getting this? You're so quick to jump off the call. I was numbers oriented. If I wasn't getting everybody in the business and then I let them choose themselves, I let them choose themselves. But if you bring 2 people every single month, it's going to take you quite some time for you to build a business. And this is why it is important for you to launch. Have you set up your 4 launches a week? Or 4 launches in a month? Depending on what your goal is. Have you set that up? We're the 5th of June. You've heard this before. It's easier to maintain than to regain. I've been out of the gym since September of last year. When I say out, meaning to the extent that I used to work out before. And I try to go back couple of months ago, and I don't even know how my right arm, my shoulder, like from my shoulder, like all the way down here, it's like I can't even lift it. It hurts like the B word. And I'm just using it as an excuse on why I can't go to the gym. Do you know why? Because I've created a new habit. The same way you can have the right habits, and I've had this habit for how many years? I mean, for as long as I've been in this country, I've been going to the gym. Weightlifting, regardless of the fact if I felt like doing it or not. And the reality here is this morning, somebody was asking me, how are you doing? I said, I'm tired as hell. Y'all know yesterday I was out. It was hot, but I enjoyed my time with my son. I was, when Jim Rohn says, if you're the beach, you'd be at the beach. If you're at work, be at work. So by the time I got home, took a shower, guess what I did? I went to work. So I was focused on my work. So some of you are saying, I'm doing this full time. Are you really? I was present with my son from 8 until 4:30 until we got home. He had my undivided attention. By the time we came home, guess what I started doing? My calls. I had scheduled calls with prospects that I met last week. And I felt very tired today because yesterday was hot and we walked a lot. Anyway, but I'm sharing this with you. Did I want to sleep in all day long? What do you guys think? Do you think I felt like doing the? I was like this morning. I got up early at 4 a.m. because that's when I wake up. I did my deal and stuff like I have my morning routine and stuff like that. I did like I did take my son to school and I started working from my bed. That's the freedom that I have. But I started working. Regardless, my brain was telling me, oh, you got to rest. My goal was telling me, no, you can't rest. Do you know why? The reason why I'm telling you guys this is because your paradigm will trick you all the time because these are the habits that you have for yourself. That's why it's hard for me to go back to the gym today. I've been out, and mind you, I've been working out for 13 years. I've been out for 10 months. I don't consider like, 3-4 times a month that I went to the gym. That is not going to the gym. I've been going, but just not consistently. And now it's hard to get back into it. This is why I said it's easier to maintain than to regain. You get out of your business, you stop doing the activity for your business, it's very hard to start all over again. And you can't expect for this business to build itself if you haven't done anything to build it. I could take day off yesterday because I have a working business based on what I did the first year. Some of you, you're like, you want to be at the family outings. You want to be at breakfast. You want to be at brunch. You want to go out. But you can't compare your chapter number 1 to our chapter 12. You got to do what we did at the very beginning to have what we have today. There's levels to it. I can't compare by chapter 12 to Mr. Bugs chapters 50. I can't hang out with Mr. Bugs. I can go and spend the day with him, and then I got to go back to work. Okay? I got to go back to work. I haven't put enough reps. So you got to make a decision. We only got 6 months. 6 months. You're either going to do it really fast or we're going to have the same conversation in December and you're going to be like, oh my God, I wish, I could have been at a better place. I could have been, oh, but they're not responding. Who cares? Keep going. Where what you focus on is where the energy will go. This is exactly what you guys think people were not responding to me in the beginning. I didn't care. I was putting in the numbers. All I cared is who joins me. That's all I cared. And I kept on going and going and talking to the next person and talking to the next person and talking to the next person. I was out on Sunday. You know how many numbers I got? I didn't even go to these individuals. They came to me. 16 numbers in 3 hours. It's like now I'm like a magnet. And guess what? I scheduled calls with each and every one of them. And I thought nobody wanted an opportunity here in my area. So I've told myself the same lies that y'all are telling yourself. I made up my mind and I made a decision for everybody else. And therefore, guess what? What's in your mind, right? What you tell your conscious mind, you accept into your subconscious mind, and then it becomes a reality. You know, your body doesn't go out there and do the work. So if you start speaking to yourself, everybody, I'm a momentum creator, right? I'm a diamond developer. Everybody wants to join me. Everybody gets started with me. And you keep on speaking that to yourself, what do you think is going to happen? All it takes is a shift, one, in the mindset first. Therefore, your energy will shift. Therefore, your activity will shift. And guess what? People are going to start joining you. Is this making sense, you guys? I'll take 2 questions and I got to go. Is that cool, Tad? Anybody has any question? No questions. I love it, Regina. I see Alexander is your just reach out to Alex. If you don't, reach out to me on Instagram. I'll plug you underneath him. Oh, no. All right. Go ahead, Rubina. Reach out to me. I want to show you how to launch. And you have Diamond here that's here on the line. Okay.
Hi, Desi. This
What's going on,
call
girlfriend?
is fire as usual. Fireball. So my question is, I looked at your video today and it was so amazing. And the message you put in there as well about don't compare your chapter 1 with chapter 12. And I want to know, looking back on your journey, what would you say has made you magnetic, as you mentioned just now?
Just being excited with my vision. The biggest thing about, I can speak for my brand because I started out with a vision. I had a vision exactly on where I was going to be. And believe it or not, even till today, we get a lot of emails. People love our clothing. And, you know, but I made a decision that I'm done with it. So, you know, everything is going away. But I came in with a clear vision and picture in mind. And I kept it, even though I had a lot of naysayers. I had people that were telling me, oh, you should be doing this and you should be at this place. You know, I had a lot of voices in that journey, similar to this, that had their own opinions about what I was doing. But God gave me the vision. God didn't give them the vision. He gave me the vision. So I anchored on that. I came in, the very first thing that I told myself about what I built was, I'm not here to, be somebody. I'm here to stay. That's how I created my brand. I'm not, my product was very expensive, and it wasn't a Walmart quality. So I didn't want Walmart people. I wanted people that will invest in themselves, right? I didn't want Walmart people. I wanted Walmart to stay where Walmart is at. I'm not Walmart, right? So that's how, and I stuck to that vision, even though, Rubina, the first 3 years, I was working 7 days. I was telling this story to somebody from my team this week. I was working 7 days a week for 3 years straight without getting paid. And by the way, Rubina, you wanna know something? I was doing all of the work. And then as I started growing and expanding, I hired girls and I was doing different events on the weekends. And guess what I was doing? I was the person sorting out the clothes to send with those people to have different booths. It was a lot of effing work. By the time I come back, I got to unpack, make sure I count everything, that they didn't steal something, whatever, right? Make sure that I have everything proper, the money's proper. And then I had to pack again to prep them for all they did is, you know what they did? They went there, they looked good, and they got paid. Because they also used to get free clothing from me. But I was doing everything behind the scenes for 3 years with people laughing at me and saying, who the hell, like all the things. They were laughing at my clothes in the beginning. But my vision, me being stagnant with my vision and firm and speaking, you just got to get loud. This is what it intentionally, you got to be very intentional. You got to be loud. I was telling somebody today, I said, you promote whatever the heck you're doing, but I've never seen you promote your business on social media. I've never seen you promote any of the calls that you're on. How do you want people to know what you're doing? How? If you're not your greatest cheerleader, nobody will cheer you on. And yeah, they're all going to say afterwards, when you make it, they're going to say, oh, I knew you would make it. Yes. BS. So I don't know how I went on this topic, Rubina, but in the beginning, I didn't have any vision with this business. I didn't know what the heck I got myself into. I bought into Darren's vision. I got really excited. I said 100 millionaires. I said, let me think about what number I want out of that 100. And then it became my own 100. The first deal though was I want to be the first one. That was the first deal. And then guess what I started doing? I started calling people. And I started connecting with people. Hey, our goal is to make 100 millionaires. Our goal is to make 100 millionaires. Our goal is to make 100 millionaires. Our goal is our vision. We're looking for leaders. Our vision is to make 100 millionaires. And the more I started speaking it to myself, in the beginning, the paradigm was saying, who the heck do you think you are? 100 millionaires? What? You're crazy. And then guess what happened? It became me. Because you've been told for the last 20, 30, 40 years through repetition something that you don't like. So in order for you to change that, it's not going to be an overnight success. Like somebody told me, the girl that came in yesterday, I was like, just give it 30 days. At the end of the day, I just told her. But in my mind, I was thinking, you're this young. I said, it's taking you this many years to be at a place where you don't like your result. Do you really think it's going to take 30 days? I know I can help you in 30 days. I know what I can do because I know my work ethic. I don't know your work ethic, so I cannot guarantee you results. I said, but you can look. If it doesn't work for you, you can always quit. But in those next 30 days, you want to make sure you do exactly what I told you to do. This is what I told her. Exactly. Not picking and choosing. Do you guys think I wanted to talk to strangers? Y'all see me in that video. I hated talking to people. Period. Not just strangers, people. I hated talking to people. Darren is a social butterfly. I needed to push myself out of my comfort zone for me to become a social butterfly. This is not me. Even until today, when I'm, in my own deal, I'm very introverted. Very introverted. I'm extroverted when I need myself to be. But when you want something that you've never done before, guess what you got to do? You got to do things that you've never done before. I wanted to get to my first 7 figures. Guess what I needed to do? Everything that I have never done before. Everything. Speaking in front of you guys. Oh my gosh. I never even imagined that. Desi, I can't do what you're doing. Okay, well. Why don't you just do it fast? You might as well fail forward fast. And have fun while you do it. It's fun. You know how many times Darren yelled at me? Not me, my paradigm. He yelled at my paradigm. Okay, gotcha. So, just listen, follow, execute. I can guarantee you we want your best. Does that help? Does that help, Rubina? I'll take one more question and let's go. One more. No more questions? All right. Since there's no more questions, do me a favor. Okay, book club. Go ahead. What's your name, book club, man?
I don't know why they got me like that.
Okay.
But the question is, what was the biggest mistake you learned from, Desi? The biggest mistake you did that you learned from the most?
I don't have a biggest mistake. I think they all create the picture together because one will lead you to the next thing. Every single mistake will put the puzzle pieces together. It's not just one deal. It's everything. And I'm still failing. I'm still, you will never stop, but I don't consider it as a failure. I consider it as a positive deal that is taking me to the next level. If I don't learn, the reason why you guys are not at the next level yet is because you haven't learned certain mistakes. You haven't learned certain lessons, right? And it's there's a lot of things that come to play, but I don't have the biggest, but every next one will lead you to the next place. I don't see them as big mistakes. I really don't. It's a little bitty teeny tiny deal. It was just meant to happen. It is what it is. Take the lesson, and if you don't take the lesson, you will have to learn it again.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Some of y'all, for example, you go into a relationship and you attract the same person just in a different body because you haven't learned certain lessons.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Life. And God will continue on giving you the same type of person in a different body until you learn your lesson. That's just how it is.
That answers it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, you guys. I appreciate you. Do me a favor. All right. I need some commitments in the chat. Put one in the chat if you're committed to do what I'm going to ask you to do. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I need to see some commitments. Put one in the chat. Follow me on Instagram. Thad posted my link. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you go like our, my stuff. Go like them. Like. Do me a favor. Go like all of my stuff and leave me a comment. And follow me on YouTube. Okay. I've got 60 followers. I'm so happy. I'm grateful. All right. For everybody that said, one, I need you to go live in our Facebook group, the GPS Facebook group. And share what you've learned today. Okay. Share what you've learned today. And, you know, at the age of 35, I decided to become a YouTuber. So go watch me and Mr. Gibson's call. It was really good. Like, this is what I was listening to this morning. You know, even though I was on that call, I was still learning from Mr. Gibson. Right? I record these calls for me because somebody asked me earlier today, can we record it?